for Pride 2021. What the happened on my... That went full screen. I wasn't expecting to go full screen.
Yikes.
Everything's fine. Nothing's broken yet, I hope. But I am Artemis Smiths. I use they, them for the most part. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure, yep. I am Claire. I am she, her.
And we are doing... I already said we're doing conversions, but that's what we're doing. Oh man, I'm so great at commentating. It's always different when it's like on camera per se.
Sure. You just gotta not get in your own head about it.
I know, like I'm sure like once we get going, I'll be just like even. No, I just always every time it happens, I'm always like, what are words?
I could run it one more time if you want.
It's all right. I think we'll be good. So yeah, we are running the same seed. We don't know where things are, which it's a randomizer. I guess that would make sense. For if this ends up getting chosen, we can always like generate a spoiler log and give it to somebody else to make sure there's not any like particularly nasty things that would like drastically increase any time estimates. Just like to make that part of it more marathon safe, but this was not checked for that, so I have no happened.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, they usually go pretty standard, so yeah. You know, often you get unlucky and end up clearing most of the seed anyways, so we have a pretty good feeling for how long it's going to take.
Yeah, very true. So I guess we can talk more about what settings going on as we get started. I guess the big thing is we start on randomized islands. So normally when you boot up this game, it's on Outset Island, so we don't. So we'll find out where we're going next. But I'm ready on the timer when you are.
Sure am.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. We're good. All right. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, what we're going to try and do is explain some of what we're doing. Like, obviously, that might give away to the other person a bit of information, but it's a fun race anyways, so. And, for instance, we actually spawned on an island that has something on it. Sometimes you get the random starting island and it just spawns you somewhere random and you just warp away.
Yeah, in this case, so you'll notice we both went for that chest.
Probably, yeah. So I sure did.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be weird not to. So one of the things that we have enabled this seed, are key lunacy. So keys are anywhere in the overworld, and it just allows us to show off more tricks on the randomizers. The main reason why I wanted to do this one.
Yeah, because there are plenty of ways to skip a lot of the keys if you know what you're doing. Which we do.
So we do allow glitches. That is one thing that apparently not many other randomizers do that. At least in terms of Zelda randomizers, I should say.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I've done some Hollow Knight rando, and that can be kind of skip heavy. But like I know like Ocarina of Time, they allow a couple subtle things, but nothing to the degree. We have like a very few number of game breaking stuff that they don't allow. But besides that,
yeah, basically item duplication is the big one. Just the way like the items needed to finish the game. So we need a fully powered Master Sword, the light arrows, as well as 8 pieces of the Triforce. And the way the swords and bows work, they're progressive. So I wasn't paying attention where I was sailing. So basically, if item duplication would basically allow you to get all of those from like a single source, so that's one of the few tricks that's just outright banned.
Yeah, it's like, for example, like this right here that I just got, this would be out of logic because technically I didn't have the item to get back there normally, but with a fairly easy skip actually, I was able to get in there no problem. That can be kind of nice just because it can help you avoid going back to some places. Not always, but sometimes.
It's also a nice way to like try and guess where the randomizer is going to send you based on what you find in areas. You know you got it out of logic, and you know what items you'll need for it, so you can kind of, in some cases, make guesses on where things will. Best way to say that.
Yeah, it lets you read the logic just a bit, but it is not, not always super useful, but sometimes it can be.
Another feature of the randomizer that we have enabled it, we use for most standard settings of this, is the randomizer allows us to select how many dungeons are in a mode we call race mode. Basically, it just allows us to not have to go through every single dungeon. So in this particular case, it randomly selects 3 of the 6, and any like important items could be shuffled into those dungeons. They could still have nothing useful apart from the boss rewards, which are instead of heart containers are replaced with pieces of the Triforce, which we need. It's just a nice way.
Yeah, we got a pretty gross lineup of dungeons actually.
Yeah.
It was Earth, Wind Temple, and Dragon Roost Cavern, I think I saw.
Yeah, so I mean, Dragon Roost is like the tutorial dungeon, which in Key Lunacy is a bit more annoying. Just in most.
Oh yeah, because Dragon Roost Cavern requires vanilla. It has 4 separate keys.
Yeah, and like the very first chest you get is always a key in normal settings, just because you need the key to get past the first. So
yeah, which basically means that you
go in
progress the
there
dungeon
for a while.
Yeah, you can't progress a dungeon at all, basically, until you have at least 1 key, because you can't get past the very first room.
You could gamble that it's there, but I don't know if I would ever do that.
That would be a bold one for sure.
That absolutely would be the boldest play.
One glitch that has some amount of use, what I'm trying to do right here, called the roll clip. It's a 1-frame trick where if you roll on a specific frame on like certain ledges, you can clip through some walls, which can be very useful. It's gonna let me get in here earlier than I'm supposed to. Which is nice because it can route in like with what I was doing anyways.
With the randomizer adds a lot of quality of life improvements. One of those being over the vanilla game, like we start with a swift sail. We start with a couple of the Wind Waker songs, including we can start with Wind Direction, which will change the wind direction, but we have Swift Sail, which does that already, so that's not important. The big thing though is when you play a song, it doesn't replay the song, so warps are much faster in the randomizer than they are in the vanilla game. But even still, we want to try and minimize warping to different areas of the map as much as possible. So like you'll see us do a lot of like out of logic checks just to prevent that basically, or as much as we can anyways.
Yeah, basically there's just lots of stuff in this game that is kind of tedious over numbers of playthroughs. Honestly, it's kind of tedious if when you play the game vanilla, but it's especially if you're going to be playing it a lot, so it's just to, speed up the seeds a little bit, make them go a bit faster. Like, the Swift Sail alone probably saves, like,
Minutes?
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, not even kidding, like, probably that much time. It's insane.
I think we've even...
Normal sailing in this game is very slow.
I think it's even sped up, like, versus, like, what it was in the HD version.
That might be true, yeah.
Or, I know cruising speed has been increased. I can't remember exactly Swift Sail speed as well.
I'm not sure. And then one thing you'll probably see both of us doing is something called sail pumping, where you put the sail in and out repeatedly. It just gives you small little bursts of speed. And so just in the effort to go a little bit faster.
Yeah, a lot of the beginning here. There's a lot of like checks that are open from the start, so we're basically just trying to like find items to then branch out and go much further with the checks that we're able to do.
Yeah, because items allow you to go and access other areas, you're always going to find, something in those early checks.
And so like I imagine we're probably like basically swapping places in the early game because it sounded like
Probably.
we started out in different locations just based on you explaining some tricks. But yeah, once we really start getting items we need for the seed, that's where a lot of the routing will play. We use trackers for that, and so like for me it's on the left side. And basically all the blue, anything in blue is basically check that the game thinks we can, or logically assumes that we're able to do. And of course, there's plenty that we can get out of logic. But it's even after playing this game for a couple hundred hours at this point for sure, it's still nice to have a tracker just to be like, what can I do?
Yeah, especially because we don't always play like the same groups of settings all the time.
Oh yeah.
What we're doing right here is something that's very close to what Season 4 settings are likely going to be.
Definitely
So,
minus key lunacy. I suggested
yeah,
it, but that
yeah.
was quickly shot down, and I do agree with it, but I really like key lunacy for some reason.
I kind of forgot that we could get keys for dungeons that aren't in logic.
Yeah, that which is a bit unfortunate.
I mean, it's just, something else for it to be a dead item.
Yeah, imagine when like Dragon Roost isn't in logic, then you have like 5 keys or suddenly like dead. A little trouble with it. This clip.
Yeah, the other thing that it mixes around is the dungeon maps and compasses. Those aren't like items that we need, and normally you find those in the dungeons, but key lunacy just puts them everywhere. So, but there is a lot of items that we don't need. Well, trying to just get through for Rando.
I am struggling. Curse you, frame perfect tricks.
Yeah, we do have a couple of those. Luckily, the game is 30 frames, so it's not like the worst thing ever. But they can be like a bit. Sometimes you have those days where you're just feeling a bit off.
Even those hours.
Now, obviously,
I was doing fine earlier today.
Part of the randomizer has logic, so you don't have to do anything out of logic ever. We'll just choose to do it occasionally to try and speed things up a bit.
I still think this is going to be faster. Even if I'm still struggling on it. It's struggle hours over here. See you in an hour when you're done. I'll still be sitting here.
Yikes.
Let's just start mashing.
But yeah, so what are you seeing there too? I think Artemis probably said it already, but yeah, we need swords, bows, and then also the shards for the Triforce in order to complete the seed.
I feel awful.
Oh no. Not like this.
There! We got it! Finally! That totally took, what, 3 minutes? It does not normally take that long. Oh, that felt rough. But what's going on? We are doing a race. Ooh, okay. But so for those just hopping in, basically just a submission video for Power Up with Pride, run later in June. And we're basically just running a seed and trying to go fast, but sometimes tricks are hard.
I think I made a mistake by coming here.
Oh no.
I got this confused with somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm really trying to get this guy to drop his thing here. Oh, he didn't do it.
Another thing that you'll kind of see us do, seemingly arbitrarily, like changing it from day to night, and that's because certain events get triggered passing of time. There's one particular overworld event. The ghost ship likes to travel around the map. That depends on the phases of the moon, where it ends up. So sometimes you'll just see us moving, like cycling through the day-night cycles. But there's also pieces of mail that trigger either through loading zones or via day-night cycles. So while it might seem confusing at first, there's a couple of those instances where you just kind of have to learn where the triggers for certain events in the tracker are.
I really don't know why I thought this was a good idea. Okay, there we go. I want this. Yeah, so we also don't start with a sword at all. And that can make some combat difficult until you finally find it.
Yeah, we don't start with a sword, and new to the 1.9 edition of the randomizer, which we also don't start with a shield. So there are now 2 shields in the item pool, whereas before we would start with a shield. You just need to find another shield to get the hero shield. Now the first shield you'll find is normal hero shield, and then you'll mirror shield. So you do
neither setting that you have to have on if you want to try this for yourself, but
right, yes. You can start with as many or as little items as you really want to.
You can literally start with every single item and then just go fight Ganon.
Yeah.
If you so choose.
That's what I do with my practice save files.
Same.
Gotta feel good about myself sometimes. Oh man, I got a really great time. Don't ignore the starting file. Ended that.
Okay, so what I got right there might... Sometimes you can kind of like attempt to read into the logic a bit and be like, oh, I got this item which opens up these things, so maybe it wants me to go here. A lot of that's kind of like smoke and mirrors, but it feels correct, so...
Yeah, a lot of the times I'm horrible at figuring that out.
It's a nice little item right there.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, like a lot of it's just a lot of the early game, particularly, kind of going around, seeing what we can get, and going and hoping we find something good. Till then, I don't really. I mean, it's a good time to read donations for this.
That's true. Yeah, there's definitely downtime between stuff. A lot of the early game is just you sort of figure out what you're up to based on the items that you happen to get.
You're basically looking for a sword in the early game, hoping to find one soon.
Yeah, any sort of weapon definitely opens things up a bit.
Actually, is that vanilla? I think that was vanilla. I can't remember if that's the vanilla location or what. But
I couldn't tell you.
But Wind Waker is a perfect game with no bugs whatsoever, so you can just do stuff like that.
Yep, sounds correct to me.
Also aiming. Another thing you'll see us do a lot is safe warping. Every island, every quadrant has like predetermined spots where Link is set to spawn in on like every time you open up a save file, and a lot of times it's just faster to do the warp, like do a save warp instead of like backtracking through a
Whoops.
area.
Yeah, exactly. And because just the way it works as like a GameCube game, you can hold down what is it like
Start B and
XB and
X.
start, and that will soft reset the game at any point. So partway through during the actual like part where it says it's saving, the game is already saved, and so you can even skip like a little bit there.
Yeah, and like sometimes you'll see a save like seemingly nowhere, or just like save and then continue going. And that's basically just to set up a soft reset if the item that we're going for out of the way ends up being junk. Just quickly get back to a convenient location.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I was trying to be fancy and I screwed it up, and
I think
and now I'm just wasting time.
that's kind of how I felt earlier.
Normally, this doesn't give me as much trouble, which is why I go for it.
That was a horrible decision. I regret my life choices.
There we go. That's all I was trying to do.
Please, please, no, that hurts. What do I have?
No, I really
Run.
was trying to pick that
Run.
up.
We're in panic mode.
Yeah, so again, not having a sword here, I have to resort to just picking up nearby items. And hopefully to get to enemy to drop their thing.
As far as settings, so yeah, I guess we didn't fully go over all the settings. Please.
But yeah, so we have dungeons, we have submarines, we have short side quests.
No short side quests.
Oh, sorry, not short side quests. What was I thinking of? Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous
Puzzles. Like basically a lot of the stuff in Wind Waker that's not like incredibly slow to do. Wind Waker has a lot of things like treasure charts that you can fish up from the water. But there's like 49 of those.
So yeah,
so
and it's not,
you don't usually do those during a race.
Exciting gameplay either. I don't like this work. I don't actually know. I'm kind of hoping and praying here.
Oh, whoa, he does not usually land there.
Okay, we're just gonna come back later. I think I like that. By come back later, I mean just reset the room. I do have
Ooh, fancy.
I know. I even remembered to update it.
Okay, so that was a pretty decent find for me right there. That opens up a couple things.
So one of the more infamous tricks in this game, is I think it was like one of the earliest tricks found. I could be wrong on that. The vanilla game, called soup glitch. Basically, Yeah, can we do this, please? 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 Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Please. But basically by pausing on the same frame of using this particular instance, soup, you can swap out the soup item for a different item and allows you to conserve your soup. So it's basically infinite soup, which is super helpful when you don't have any weapons to really attack. So you just need like health all the time. Super nice in those scenarios.
Yeah, and it's not really that bad to do. So if you're playing through the game casually, assuming you're playing on the SD version,
yeah, that was unfortunately patched.
It's a very easy way to make the game a lot easier. Alright, so I guess maybe I was the first one to use it. So what I just did right there is a small combination of tricks, but it's a very common one that you'll see in Wind Waker running, speedrunning, rando playing, etc. This is something called chest storage, which is what's letting me run along this wall here, which is not normally something that you would be able to do. It's a combination of things, so utilizing a glitch called storage, which basically, in a nutshell, it puts Link in a glitchy player state. It stores the animation of you opening the chest and thus an altered hitbox that the game gives you in order to like play the animation of Link opening the chest. So it makes your collision really, really tiny and allows you to essentially do all kinds of stuff because a lot of collision and walls and things are not expecting you to have that glitchy collision.
A well-known phrase that we like to use: walls are merely a suggestion.
Yeah, like you saw us doing roll clips earlier, and like that kind of already breaks stuff. Storage just opens up the game in ways that
Definitely
no other glitch in this game really does. So sometimes you'll see us like climb up on ledges and pull out the Wind Waker and drop down. That's us setting up the storage glitch.
It also allows you to get under islands. Do it over water. You'll kind of like be able to fall underneath islands. And the way the water works in this game is while you're completely submerged under that, you can then move underneath a location with a higher plane of water, and when Link resurfaces for air, he'll actually pop up in the upper portion of that water, which is helpful for getting to some places either faster or if you didn't have the necessary items sooner.
Yeah, no. One of the members in the community likes to say that when you see the Wind Waker in the hand, it's like a magic wand, and you know magic things are gonna happen. Which I always thought seemed very appropriate.
I like that. I don't think I've heard that actually.
That's Mongol.
Oh, that makes complete sense.
Right.
That's definitely a Mongol saying.
I've actually wanted to do a custom model and have it be like a classic like magician's wand.
Oh, that'd be really fun, actually.
I thought that could be kind of fun.
Oh, I guess we should mention that the randomizer supports custom models. If you couldn't already tell, I don't think either of us are playing as Link.
Nope. Sure, am not. Yes, I'm playing as Linka, the model done by one of our community members, Big Shark Z.
And I am playing as I feel bad. I really should know this. But I am playing as one of the Picori model from a Picori from the Minish cap. And I am rocking alternate color outfits for that.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a variety of models to choose from. There's everything from Grandma, Link's grandma you can play as, to Inteleon, to Solid Snake. There's a whole variety of models available.
I think some of the popular meme ones, there's like Sans Undertale, and
Oh yes.
Minecraft Steve was just put out recently, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, a lot in like some of the items in that. Fantastic.
Also, so that right there was another, this is another instance of me utilizing storage, and then I'm gonna bring that storage over to this chest and then use it to store the chest.
I think it stopped going places without a weapon.
So normally you would need to be able to glide over here with a Deku Leaf, but I can just climb the wall and slip through a crack. And I'm gonna actually use storage again with this chest over here. Now, the one thing with storage that you might have noticed is any chest that we store, it doesn't play the cutscene, right? That's the whole thing. We store the cutscene. But that also means that we don't know what item that we got from it, because it doesn't play and show us. We do get the item, but often we have to be careful, make sure that we're carefully checking our inventory so that there's not just some item that we have that we didn't realize that we had. Which can happen.
Yes.
And it's always hilarious. So especially with like key lunacy on, you got to be making sure that you're paying attention to like what keys that you might have.
It's also interesting with another thing is we get the item, but we don't get the item until we either enter a loading zone, different fades to black, or voiding out. Basically anything that would cause Link's actor to be is what causes us to gain the item. And so if we store an item and then decide to save warp, it actually basically deletes the item. So you've got to be really careful when doing that to make sure you don't accidentally delete important item that you may need, like a sword or a Triforce shard or something similar.
Yes, I actually just realized that I stored the delivery bag. So I'll make sure I mark that on my tracker.
Oh, and yes, the delivery bag allows us to access a couple other things. So when figuring out like, oh, did I store an item and you don't see anything, if you don't have the delivery bag, it's very possible you did pick up those items that can be put in those bags, but you won't be able to access them until you have the corresponding bag. So sometimes when you finally get like the delivery bag, you might want to check it. Like, did I accidentally get the note to mom? Did I get Cabana Deed? In these particular settings that we're concerned about.
One of the downsides, however, to chest storage and why I just had to do some weird movement there is actually prevents you from grabbing up onto ledges. So it can't necessarily... I couldn't have just climbed up here like that. You can't do that with chest storage. So it's a blessing and a curse in some ways. But mostly a blessing. Let's be honest.
Oh yes. Although I just realized I'm about to have a really bad time.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. That's a thing that can happen. Okay. That's relieving. So obviously we need to have a different item to progress further that area logically. Trying to do is avoid that, but I avoided. Didn't know you could void there. So now we have to.
Oh no.
Now we have to go run away. That was unfortunate. I didn't know you could void there. We're having a great time.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it goes, and then you just have to adapt. And that's why I like to call it organic routing.
It's such a good frame.
You just do what you gotta do. Mistakes happen. You hope they don't, but it's hard to be perfect throughout the course of a run.
Yeah. Because like even if you like, sometimes it feels like, yeah, we're doing fine. I got this, and then like then you don't. Like you can nail a trick like 50, 100 times in practice, like hours before you run, and then it comes to the run and you just don't.
But practice should help your consistency at the very least, which is good.
Hopefully, that's the idea, anyways. Kind of really routing on the fly here. I've gotten a whole lot of nothing so far, and it's making me worried.
It's making me wonder if I,
Made a good play?
maybe.
Quite possibly.
And I did something earlier that was arguable, but it did open some stuff, which is good. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm miscounting my... Oh, I'm using the wrong... I should really be using this. There we go.
We're working through it. It's a process.
Honestly, that's how just random goes. That's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Every seed is different.
Fortunately, that wasn't worth it.
Oh. Oh, I keep forgetting to do something, crap. That happens sometimes where you just get sidetracked. At least for me. I don't know. Maybe that's a me problem. But I'll get like sidetracked and then forget something I was planning on checking.
Oh no, that happens to me as well. I definitely had a route in mind like earlier, like even before the things happened, and I'm like, oh, I got this. Let's just do this, and I completely like now I'm like gonna be just like hopping all over the overworld. In not ideal circumstances.
It's like here I'm gonna save.
Oh, okay, that worked.
In case that's useless.
I was trying to get in here, just not
I
that
think I'm
intended
gonna...
manner. But we'll take it.
So I can use that chest to do a skip later. So it's tempting for me to undo it like I just did. It's like a kind of useful item, but only sort of, so... I'm sure I'll be back for it, but...
That's nice.
Actually, I don't know why I did this here. Potential minor time save that you can try and do is if it happens to work out that way, you can try and get like certain pieces of mail at the same time. This is what I'm attempting to do here, which is why I sent off a letter and then just pieced out.
Yeah, like before, like a lot of the mail is like set on day nights, like so you're just kind of hoping to consolidate things. And you also get mail for getting things, bombs. The Ferrer's Pearl also unlocks a mail check, getting a bigger wallet. There's a couple of seemingly random things, but we all look forward to seeing those items, not just for the benefits that they give, but also actually being able to get additional items out of it.
Yeah, the requirements for some of the mail checks feel very random when you're playing rando, but like if you're playing through the game normally, the things that trigger them make some amount of sense. And yeah, we're not rewriting the game for when we get mail.
I have come back with a vengeance.
Nice.
Oh, that feels.
Can I go out the door? Yes, like bringing a fairy to Grandma, for example. It'll make Grandma send you a letter. But you have to pass time for it to actually get there. So since I also needed to pass time for the other letter that I mailed, I can get both together and only pass time once. So it's kind of nice when it happens, but it doesn't always work out that way.
I'm really doing probably against my.
Ooh. This is a fun item. Is it required? No. But I like having it. This is kind of like a more of a meme item in the community, but it always makes seeds fun when it shows up because it's not logically put into the checks that we're doing. So since everything gets scrambled around, all of the actual necessary items are guaranteed to be in a certain subset of the game's locations, but all the other items are just randomly scrambled.
Are you telling me that like we can get the hero's charm?
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a good feeling. Please.
I just gotta get it first.
I know.
Oops, there we go. So am I looking for? Oh, well, I got marked in the back of the slip. So with some damage boost and some precise movement, I'm actually able to do this. Oh, well, not like that, but I'm able to do this island a little bit differently. Which is great, because normally you need leaf, and I do not have the leaf. I would like to find the leaf. The leaf is pretty much considered by most people to be like the best item in the game, or if not, it's like the second best item.
Yeah, leaf and bombs, and partly because it allows you to break a lot of seeds.
Yeah, so they're both really, really, really nice to have. Actually, you know what? Let me go over here instead. I'll never be upset to find leave. And I guess something that we kind of touched on briefly earlier, but there were more important things to explain, is so that we have different subsets of dungeons every time. It's just one of the settings that you can enable. So we only have to do 3 out of the game's 6 main dungeons, which is nice because it adds a certain amount of variety. But it also, like, Earth and Wind Temple are the last 2 dungeons that you normally would do in the game. And I realized that I'm doing something weird here.
And they
So
just need a lot of
sometimes,
items.
like, people aren't always super happy to find them just because they're longer and they require a lot more items to do quickly.
So therefore, like the chances of them having really good items a bit lower, just because you just need good items to get there.
Yeah, there's certain things that you know just can't be there. Oh, I was gonna do... I forgot my whole entire plan. So I'm gonna attempt to do something that we call a super swim. This is one of the other big uses of storage, where you use the glitch to lock the camera facing you, which lets you turn around really quickly in the water and build up a ton of speed. It can be faster than sailing to some locations. It does make the screen flash pretty rapidly, so if there are people who are sensitive to the flashing imagery, we can either give warnings for it, or we could even just agree beforehand that maybe it's not the best idea to do for a marathon, but I can show it off here.
Targeting system in this game is, while useful, can sometimes be a pain, especially if you're surrounded by enemies and you're only aiming for like
Yeah, so this item location right here specifically is kind of out of the way, so I will try to swim to it occasionally just because it does speed things up.
Alright. So normally we like to do that with a better weapon, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this seed so far, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this would not be what I would call marathon safe.
I mean,
I mean, it'll be fine in the end, but like it's definitely one of those like, oh my god.
some seeds get to be a bit trickier. Am I really gonna go do this? I think I am gonna go do this. Oh boy.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting play if this pulls out.
Yeah, so these submarines specifically are a bit more combat focused, so just depending on the weaponry you happen to get your hands on, they can be not so bad or they can be pretty rough.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how it goes. But it makes routing very fun because usually you like to save them, but sometimes it's just they're in a convenient location that you're already at. So maybe you would do them earlier than you would like. You know, or sometimes you start running out of options. So
Sometimes it's just about the gamble on. Because there are definitely runner favorite islands and runner avoids at all cost islands.
yeah, for sure.
I was struggling with Bomb Island earlier today, let me tell you. I think I lost 5 minutes to Bomb Island because the Magtails wouldn't cooperate.
And meanwhile, I kind of like Bomb Island, and I'm considered weird for that.
I mean, a bit. Like, it's fine when it works, but mine doesn't work most of the time.
So this sub here can be kind of very annoying. Because targeting can be difficult.
I just had a brain fart.
But we're done with that. Luckily we had.
That would... Yeah, I meant to do this first.
Who?
That's just an awkward time loss. There we go. That's what we...
That opens some very interesting options. Let's actually go down here again. I think.
So where I'm at now, it's basically all out of logic, but for me, it feels like the best play to do. There's a lot we can do out of logic. It's just out of logic. So you'll be see. There's some interesting things that have to be done, utilizing weird mechanics of. So, I know there's a couple items that we won't be finding here, but so I'm just basically hoping to find some items behind later on.
Yeah, that's often how it goes. It's like, if you do something out of logic because you skipped needing a certain item, you know obviously you can't find that item there, but hopefully you'll find something else that's still useful.
Makes it worth it.
That is always the hope. It does not always work out that way, but it is always the hope. Actually, I'm gonna swing it right in here. So I can grab that.
I'm trying to think of my what I should be doing here. Like, what can I do here? It's been a while since
I think I still haven't quite determined how gross this seed wants to be. I think it has some potential to get
that's what scares
pretty
me.
exciting. But it might not quite go that way. We'll see.
Alright, I guess.
Sometimes there's just certain locations that are so far out of the way to do on their own that you leave them for the very end. Or like you wait until you hopefully have other items, and sometimes those other items just don't come, and so you have to, like, in logic, last location certain places, and it's always kind of fun. Because sometimes you make the gamble that it's going to go that way, and you pop there early, and sometimes you don't, and it feels sad. Like a common one is like if Leaf is in the very first check of Wind Temple, logically you need leaf for everything else in Wind Temple except for the very first location.
Why not do?
And so it's always a bit like, ugh.
Trying to look around. Thought I could. I was just again doing it without doing things with like in non-intended ways makes it a little awkward to do.
It almost feels like the rando's punishment. Like the devs are like, how dare you do this? I've always joked. They get the last laugh.
They really do.
So currently there isn't a whole bunch that I can do here. But so it might be a bit of a risk being here. But sometimes that's part of the fun.
I am definitely out of my comfort zone with these. That's for sure.
I'm basically gambling that there is something worth getting here. I also want this guy to give me a whap. Come on. You know you want to. I want to have slightly lower health. I thought that was going to be a bit faster than it was. Oh well.
Oh, this, yeah, we're trying. That's for sure. I have no idea if this isn't even going to pay off. But if it does, it pays off big. I'm really starting to doubt it. Sounds like we're in the same area.
Maybe. Some fun dungeon dipping to be done, potentially. Not that I'm doing that, of course.
Oh no, of course not. Why, like, there's so many better options to be than in a dungeon.
Oh, well, that's pretty nice right there.
Ooh, frame perfect. I'd actually get that.
Nice.
Of course, now I have to go down here. That's why we did this.
See if I can do it this way. Oh, that was close. Okay, one more try. I guess I'll do this the intended way, whatever.
Intended what?
I know, right? Feels dirty just saying it. So I want to take some damage from these guys. Now, hopefully I don't get very unlucky. Although in that case, I might do something different anyways.
I thought
Let me go ahead and save here. So, as we were saying earlier, if you ever store a chest, you don't actually get the contents of the chest right away. It's not until you load a new area or you void out or something like that. So I can use chest storage to get back here. But if I were to save and quit now, I'll void that item that I stored. So I got myself to low health, so I can just die here. And by dying, that counts as a void out, and therefore I will be able to get the item. Because if you were to accidentally void an item that you needed, then you can no longer complete the seed. And that would be very, very bad. Double check and see if you've got anything. Cool. Unfortunately, there's not really anything else I can do there. And it's just how it goes sometimes, so. And so that's where doing some things out of logic can be nice, because that was a bit of a risk by going there, being only 2 things that I could do logically. But I was able to grab one more item, which gave me one more chance of it being a worthwhile trip. So that's really where it becomes nice.
I'm in the process of targeting is annoying again.
Yeah, there's certain areas, certain bosses and stuff that definitely don't make the L targeting shine. I remember casually Mulgara, which is the Wind Temple boss, was like my least favorite because it's really, really, really bad with the L targeting. And then I just do a cheeky little void out there to get back into the boat a bit faster. I feel like that's part of how randomizer goes as well. Or just that's just Windbaker in general. Like, you know, since we're racing, you kind of start to get like that sort of speedrunner mentality a little bit. So there are some little tricks that'll save you like a couple seconds.
I don't know if
some
I'm
things
necessarily saving time anymore. I'll be honest.
I mean, you try to when you can, right?
Oh yeah, we're trying, but I don't know how well that's working out.
I'm trying to think like what you could be doing. A lot of things. There are a lot of things that can go interesting ways.
Ooh, that hit.
So I could have done this earlier, but by waiting until now, I'm able to do this, which is a lot faster. So that's sometimes like how the routing goes. Oh, that's a vanilla item location. I think I might have found that vanilla item location you were talking about.
Oh yeah, isn't it fun?
I wondered if you had found that item since you were talking about the ghost ship earlier.
I can't actually remember if that was. I can't remember if I was talking about the ghost ship before or after I found that. I'll be honest.
Not sure.
It's been a while.
Oh.
And I just did a lot of suffering for nothing.
Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, so we were kind of talking about earlier for the ghost ship. But if you can, it's especially nice to get it early before you've passed too many day-night cycles. But eventually it just kind of it goes that way.
Yeah. Luckily, it's a set like every full moon it will always be every half moon. So it is a cycle. So I at least have them all on a sticky note. So
I have like the first 5 memorized at this point, but
yeah, I have
that's
like the
it.
first 3 memorized, and then I just reference the sticky note after that.
Yeah, usually you don't like throughout the course of a run, honestly, you don't tend to pass day night that many times. Which is why I only remember up to 5, because it's like
Really all you
beyond that is very, very, very unlikely. Something that the randomizer does add is special warp pots that exist between some of the dungeons that
yeah,
make dipping into dungeons earlier a little less unforgiving because you can get back there a bit faster. So in this series of dungeons, for example, Earth and Wind Temple are in the pool of dungeons that are linked. It's like Earth, Wind Temple, and Forsaken Fortress, as well as Dragon Roost Cavern, Forbidden Woods, and Tower of the Gods. So since we only have 3, Dragon Roost Cavern is SOL. It's just on its own. There's no warping to it. I guess you could. We could still go to one of the other dungeons out of logic, but that's likely
really
not
worth
worth
it.
it because you could just go to the dungeon at that point.
Forbidden Woods might be the most convenient for that, but just because of where the
Even still, it's
yeah,
like, yeah.
even still, it's not that like unless you're like already in the area type thing. And that's only because Dragon Roost is a bit annoying to get to, just because there's a couple loading zones you have to get through.
Oops. So I'm attempting to set up a different kind of little glitch here. That's not useful. So by keeping that off camera until now, I'm able to do that cute little thing.
Now I'm like really confused. I'm like, wait, where are you now? What? What?
Oh, is my commentary confusing you? Are you trying to read?
Yeah, like not intentionally, but it's just like I'm like trying to I'm like things are like trying to like fit into place. I'm like, oh yeah, no, she's here. And then now you're talking about them like, wait, that makes more sense with that. But, huh?
Yeah, we were talking about this beforehand, how much that we really, how much we thought it mattered, you know, giving away kind of like what we're doing. And I think we kind of figured that it's not really a big deal.
It's just gonna happen anyways.
You know, like at some point, I know Artemis is going to end up going into, you know, Dragon Roost Cavern, for example. So When it happens, who knows? There's some information to be gleaned, but it's a race for fun anyway. Oops.
Can't remember how key.
Just
We
in
don't
general,
know.
or
How the key bag
I'm
works, I should say.
I just. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's just me.
It's been a bit since I've done this. Oh, right here.
This seed is definitely something, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is a more unusual one. I'll agree. There we go. It's testing my knowledge.
It really is. I like as much as I like testing knowledge, I wasn't prepared for this level of test.
Teacher came in with a pop quiz and was like, "What's up?"
It came with a pop quiz like on like the supplemental reading that was like optional for you to look at.
Oh no. Do I have nightmares about school still? Not even kidding.
So
It's not
I work at a school and I like take classes still. cause I get them for free like for my job. And man, there's some things of like I still like have weird like quiz dreams and like there's and the whole global situation going on has not helped time management things for sure.
Oh, I believe it.
And there's been more than once occasion where I have one particular class I have like quizzes, article summaries that are due. And they're due like Saturday nights. And there's been on multiple occasions where at like one in the morning on like Sunday morning, I'm just like, oh shoot, I didn't do that.
Oh, also speaking of, I think I may have I may have failed that question on the quiz. I gotta do something a little bit differently than I was expecting. Which is fine, that was a bit silly of me.
Yeah, no, this seed has really tested some like what I know and therefore don't end up knowing.
If I had to make a list of things I shouldn't be doing right now, this might be on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that just seems to be most me this entire seed, honestly.
A little bit, a little bit. Hey, I'm here though. I'm doing it. This is a cool one, I dig it a lot.
Oh, that would have been really helpful. Like, really helpful. Okay. Alright. I suppose we can do that.
I love how I resigned you. I'm like, yeah, I guess you can.
Yeah,
I feel that.
it's just like, okay, I guess that opens up this.
I don't remember if you mentioned it earlier or not, but soup gives you double damage.
Oh, I did not mention that.
So not only does it give you health and magic, but it also gives you double damage until you take a hit of damage. So it can make certain fights go a lot faster.
Was definitely the. Wish I did this first.
Also, having the Master Sword as opposed to like any version of the Master Sword as opposed to the basic Hero Sword it's double damage off the basic sword. So.
Oh, now you're wearing.
Okay.
Ain't not. Oh, we're already committed.
Wait, what am I gotta think very carefully about how I want to do what I'm about to do. I think I know how I want to do this.
Fortunately,
Oh shoot, I thought I got him in downs in time. Maybe I don't need to do it this way. Let's just do it this way.
yeah, we're setting up a safety safe here just in case things go wrong.
Good thing things never go wrong, right?
Oh yeah, no, never. They haven't already gone wrong like 15 times already.
Never, ever. Okay, let's go. Oh, well, I don't know why I threw him down here. Where do I? Yeah. I'm so indecisive. This is a very unusual route for me to take.
Oh yeah, no, this is the wildest routing that I've ever done.
Oops. So what I'm about to do here is called a bomb boost. They use the explosion and the knockback from the explosion of a bomb to kind of knock you up in the air just a little bit. And if you combine that with the jump slash, you're able to get extra height and get to some spots that you normally wouldn't be able to leap up onto. Which can be quite useful. As is hopefully demonstrated there. So I'm gonna use some more soup to hopefully make this combat go a bit easier. Of course, if I take damage, I'll have to drink more or just not use the double damage, and that's just kind of how it happens. You just hope that that's not how it goes.
Let's see if this was worth it. That definitely was worth it.
Nice.
That
I mean,
was...
eventually something has to be worth it, right?
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
That's what I'm telling myself.
It will all be worth it. It will all be worth it.
Right? Like, please, please, please. No, I just got a heart container.
Oh, you did that room
The
too?
game loves me. It really does.
I cried a little when that happened.
Okay, yeah, this is what we want to be doing, I think. Oh, I'm being silly. I just realized. Yeah, I need to.
I'll be honest, just a couple times I've forgotten that we're in key sanity.
Understandable, understandable. That was actually part of why I was just realizing I was being silly.
I'm like, oh, I could do over here. Oh, wait, no, I can't.
Yeah, one thing that, interestingly, that you lose by adding key sanity. So normally you can expect to find, like, okay, you're doing Dragon Roost Cavern, so you know that 4 of the chests have keys, and 3 of them have the big key, the dungeon map, and the compass, the 3 different dungeon items. But in Key Lunacy, it gets a bit different.
And you also have to like remember that you need keys to progress through the dungeon.
Exactly, yeah.
Because we had made a mistake with our soup glitch earlier, we need a refill there because we're gonna need it.
No shame in revisiting Grandma.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Okay, so now I'm ready to face this room. Okay.
So there's some interesting properties when you like collide hitboxes together a bit. And it allows you to hit stuff. Basically by I actually can't really explain because I just know it happens. I'm not sure exactly what the actual cause of it is. Like,
Oh,
put
like
this here.
stuff like bomb push or whatever.
Not so much bomb push now.
You said something about colliding hitboxes, so. Actually, I've never. Well, no, it's not the time. I'm gonna go ahead and safety save here. In case this goes awry.
I'm sorry. I had to make a rap project for one of my classes.
A rap project?
Yeah, I had to make a rap. It's because I take music class. I guess I should clarify. It's not like we're in math class making a rap. You take the x to the square root of b. No, nothing like
maybe
that.
we should be making.
But yeah, so I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I was debating how much I wanted to be comfortable with my classmates, So I was debating on
Oh,
doing like
sure,
some sort of
sure.
like I was debating on how like if I wanted to do like some sort of like LGBT thing like with like being in the closet, like just puns about that. But I ultimately decided against that. But because of that, and thinking of Ace Pride, I got on this. My brain was just on like garlic bread. So I then just broadened it to just sandwiches. So I made a sandwich wrap.
Let's go.
So I used like puns like awry or
Ah, there's the
yeah. There's the connection. We had
Is it Ace Pride
awry.
making the garlic bread?
I don't know why it's a meme, but it's apparently a thing.
Oh, it is. Okay,
I
gotcha.
don't know why, but I mean I like garlic bread, so I all for it.
Heck, I don't have to understand it. I can get behind it.
But yeah, so I just had a rap about sandwiches, and like
Nice.
it was a sandwich wrap basically.
Sandwich wrap. I love it.
Yeah, you gotta have the W in on that first wrap there.
I definitely don't have a KO. I'm always like worried. I should double check I need to double check my key bag actually. I was just looking for a stored item just to see what it might have been. And I couldn't figure it out. I forget that we have keys.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. What do I need?
Luckily, you can check that from your inventory screen.
Luckily.
And that closes. This is somewhat useful. Doing some of this stuff. Oh. So that strat right there is not intended, but it makes this go just a bit faster, and it's really fun to try to do. If you can manage to grab that. I'm gonna go for it again here. Missed it. What class did you have to make a rap for?
Commercial songwriting.
Commercial songwriting.
Commercials
Okay,
in
seems...
like for money, not necessarily like. I believe that is our final part.
I mean, I feel like those do kind of go hand in hand. Jingles are pretty important for marketing.
Yeah, no, it's actually we every class we start off by taking a look at a jingle and like kind of like notating it out and being like, why is this catchy?
Why is this good? I like that.
The things like it starts and ends on one. Syncopation. It's in the pentatonic scale because oh my god, everything is almost everything's in the pentatonic scale.
Yes, as a music person myself, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm hearing a hint of just smile and wave, boys.
Pretty much. I'm just like, yep, 100%. Aye, Captain. Whatever you say. No, I think it's dope. I just...
But yeah, no, we've looked at stuff like the McDonald's.
I'm gonna be doing another super swim here. And this one, unluckily, is during the day, so the flashing is extra powerful. Honestly, one of the great things about having the Swift sale is that super swims aren't that good.
Yeah.
If you were to watch a
I'm not
speedrun of
great at those.
the GameCube version of this game, they do super swims everywhere because the sailing in that game is very, 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 very slow. So it looks pretty cool, kind of. But unlucky. I was really hoping that was going to yield better, because I'm going to have to potentially come back to this location a third time. Just if it happens to go be that way. Which is never exciting, but that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, we're getting some items now, but oh my gosh, has it been a process?
Yeah. Wait, why am I? Oh my gosh, I'm being silly right now again. You hate to do an extra warp, but
I've done.
I need to go over and grab that ghost ship. And while it's in a somewhat convenient location, aka it's somewhere it's nearby where I need to go back to anyways. It can be, you know, nice to try to route that in when you can. A general rule of thumb, if you're ever racing this game, is that warping is fast but sailing is slow. So if you can ever not, like, if you can avoid like sailing to different places, it's not so bad as like re-warping to some places. So a lot of the routing just turns into like, can I link all these islands together? Yes or no. And it's usually yes for some and no for others, and then that's part of the fun. Because sometimes you have to do things, you know, before you might want to. I got too worried about this item, so I went back for it. And now I'm gonna head over here.
Things that I haven't had to do in like ever.
Ever, never, ever.
I think maybe like once. I wonder if we can do this for a little bit.
Oh, I just realized I have something. Oh man, when did I get this?
Nope.
Shoot, if I got that in Wind Temple, that really is annoying. Oh.
That's interesting.
And that item I could have used back at Pop Run.
Oh, you did the same thing I did.
Unfortunate. Just there. Yeah, you were talking about Ghost Ship too much earlier. I'm like, there's no way that you didn't do it.
I mean, I did it after Wind Temple as well, so. What an...
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know how to I don't know what to think about this speed.
Same.
It's interesting. That is definitely a word to describe it.
I'm about to do one of my favorite strats in the entire game. I don't know if that gives away anything to Artemis or not, but
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what if I know that favorite shot or one of them. Yeah, I don't know.
believe it or not, this is not the intended way to do this.
I wonder if we're about to do this.
Hard to say. Oh, unlucky.
Oh wait, no.
Oops. Oh, just goodness. Well, no. I keep second and third guessing myself. I'm gonna do another swim. Because apparently I've grown quite fond of them.
Yeah, you're doing a lot more swims than I'm doing, that for sure.
I think lately it's been more so just to get practice.
Okay.
Unlucky. I think I have to pop in, pop out here as well.
If there's ever been a seed for organic routing, it's this one.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like I've routed this as optimally as I might have liked, but
Oh, definitely, I haven't.
I'm doing my best.
Doing what I can.
Pretty much. Okay, I have a feeling like this is gonna be something here. Yep, it was something. You start running too low on things that you can do. So that at a certain point, it's just kind of like, well, this has to be something, basically.
All right, I think we can finally get some stuff done.
I wonder we both just did something similar. I need to double check something as well. Okay, that's what I thought. God, I hate having to go back to pop rent again. Triple dipping pop rent is so sad.
Just, yeah, it feels bad.
But it's how it goes sometimes. If you start running too low on checks, it's kind of like you have to decide what is and isn't worth going for. At least pop rent isn't as far away as some other islands are.
Yeah, it's at least easy to get to.
You just really hope to not have to do it like this.
Basically. You know, I probably could have just failed there. Looking at the map as I was doing that.
Sounds about right. You know, something I hadn't thought about before.
Hmm?
I wonder if Key Lunacy makes the upper part of Dragon Roost Cavern like incredibly high sphere most of the time. Because they're like,
Yeah,
in order to access up there, you need 4 different keys.
I guess it depends on where the
And
keys
depending
are.
on where those end up getting placed, it's kind of like,
I'm not sure.
I'd not really thought about it before.
I know. I use the tracker that tells me what sphere I'm in, like when I'm doing checks, but I don't know how to actually like pay any attention to those numbers. I'm like, yep, that's a big
Same.
number.
Sure is.
Or like sometimes it'll be
And I
like, oh
actually don't
man,
even
we're an
use
hour
that
and a
one.
half in, and I haven't done that 0 sphere check. Oh, huh.
So apparently this is... Oh,
I don't
I'll
think I
worry
have
about it
any.
later.
I could be wrong.
Didn't leave any sphere zeros open.
I don't think I did.
I don't think I did either. Yeah, it's always a bit iffy if you leave a check open from the very beginning. Oh, geez. I hate that when that happens.
That was disgusting. This seed has been something.
It certainly has been. Wishing I would have done that in the first place. Killed that enemy. There's always a thing, like with enemies that are like optional kills. Just always try to avoid killing them because it's, you know, theoretically slow. And then if they just like screw with your movement, it sucks. Can actually just reset there. That's another part that can kind of come into routing. It really depends. But if you have everything that you need, because something I guess we didn't really say is, so part of having that 3 dungeon race mode is we know that the bosses in those dungeons will have a Triforce shard guaranteed. So you have to fight all 3 of those bosses. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So then that will involve like being able to go mode dungeons is what we'll call it. Where all you have to do is get to the boss and beat the boss. So it's just about how quickly can you get there. So often people will clear the overworld, or like people might clear the overworld before dipping into dungeons, because as soon as you get the last item that you need, then you know you just can go straight to the boss and beat the boss. But sometimes the items are in the dungeons and sometimes they're in the overworld, and you never know. But it's
Sometimes
just kind of part
they're
of
just
it.
both, and like you're constantly back and forth.
Yeah, and there's just no like getting around it.
And I'm also trying to think of like if there's stuff that like, because like we both have like I'm pretty sure we both have like hundreds of hours in this game. There's like some things just like what have like what's interesting to talk about in that we haven't already
Tons
covered.
of stuff. I mean, I guess to what extent do you want to never know? There's lots of like little subtle things that you do here and there. Even just like trying to like, you know, how you equip your items and stuff can vary from person to person. I think that's always fun. People
Yeah.
prefer certain items and certain buttons on the controller because they're, you know, more convenient for them.
So for
I
instance, like,
think a common one
what
is
do you?
like the sail on the boat. Since we do sail pumping where you put it in and out, some people put it on a button that's more comfortable.
So what do you use
I prefer
for Wind
mine
Waker?
on Y, but that's.
Yeah, I put sail on Z for me.
I think that's a fairly common one.
What do you have Wind Waker?
My Wind Waker, I'm an X. Wind Waker on X person. I used to do it on Z, but I find it is harder for me to time getting Wind Waker dives with Z. Not that I think it's just because now that's what I'm used to.
Oh yeah. Once you get used to doing.
Yeah, I guess we never mentioned it per se, but so Wind Waker dive is like a very big part of how you get storage, where you drop off a ledge with the Wind Waker in your hand. In most instances, that is a 2-frame window, which sounds scarier than it really is because the game runs at 30 frames per second.
The scarier part is getting the cancel at 3 frames before you land, which I just kind of just open best. I go for it. I don't have like any specific like visual cue that I look at. I don't know if
I think it's kind of hard to for most ledges, unless it's one that you drop off of a lot. I try to just gauge it based on the height of the ledge specifically. There is some visual cue that you can use to determine if you are fast or slow, and that can be useful. Whoops, and missed the item.
So one interesting property about keys is obviously there's tons of locked doors in dungeons, and you need a small key to progress through them. Then naturally, when you open the locked door up, it consumes your key. However, you can also go backwards through these rooms, and you still need a key to open the door, but it then doesn't take the key away from your hand.
Yeah, for some reason going through backwards, like it doesn't decrement the key properly. But it still checks to see if you have an actual key to go through the door. So it's just weird how it goes about doing that.
That was
So Dragon Roost Cavern is a common one. If you can do some cheeky little tricks, you can go through it backwards.
that's
It becomes a bit trickier with key lunacy because you have to actually get like another key, but in the end it can be very worth it because you can get a bunch of items without needing to find a bunch of keys yet.
like earlier we were saying like the Dragon Roost Cavern has 4 small keys. With tricks and glitches, you only need 2 of them to like get everything. To get all the checks in the.
Yeah, and then you only need actually one of them to get to the boss.
It's just that first room.
Yeah. No getting past the first room without a key.
Fortunately, there is currently no known way to get past a locked door without a key. due to the way the dungeons load, the next room in a dungeon is loaded upon opening the door. There isn't like a loading zone to enter, so you can't. So while there's ways to get out of bounds in a lot of rooms with locked doors, there's then not a way to access to trigger the next room without opening.
Yeah, you can't force it to load. It's just unfortunate. Maybe one day, though.
One day. At which point, Key Lunacy is just...
Is dead in the water.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, there are certain rooms in dungeons, generally like rooms devoted to mini bosses, that have like their own like little cutscenes and animations and stuff that play. Those will sometimes have like an always active loading zone on the other side of a door, so you can skip those locked doors. But that's like very specific and doesn't apply to everyone.
Yeah, it's only because they have like an active Fade to Black loading.
I'm gonna do that cute little trick there to skip part of this puzzle. Makes it go a bit faster. Not the intended way, but what are you gonna do? It's not too far off. The devs can't be too mad, right?
I hope
It was
not.
like almost. I don't think any Wind Waker dev ever watches Twitch streams of Wind Waker.
I feel like if I worked on a game like Zelda, I would absolutely watch Twitch streams of it. Like and like going like similar like indie devs. I love it when indie devs talk about like speedruns of their games and like, yeah, we knew that glitch was there, we just left it in.
Oh sure.
And like, wow, I wasn't expecting like that glitch to be used in this way to break the game open, but cool.
I do definitely get the whole like labor of love part though, and it's like you don't want to see somebody just tear apart something that you worked really hard on.
Oh yeah.
It's a back and forth, I'm sure.
One of the most difficult tricks in this game is actually just open yes.
Yes, it's so true. That sounds like a meme, but it really isn't. Sometimes opening chests is like the hardest thing to do in this game.
Like you definitely never think about it when you're like, oh, I'm gonna learn this really cool trick, but just optimally opening chests is like so hard to do. And every time I'm always like, ah, oh, dang it.
Annoying stuff.
Good, I did. That would have been good to check, but
So I can actually abuse the size of this hitbox here and get through this area a lot easier than you're supposed to do. Easier and faster. And hit those things through the wall. Little trick here to clip the camera out of bounds. and lets me pull myself through the out of bounds area.
As we, yeah, I think as I said earlier, walls are merely suggestions. Bigger.
In a lot of ways, yeah. Something that's always kind of fun too is if you ever have to trek back in an area and you have more items this time, it's like, oh, it's so much easier.
Speedrun.
Kind of. I think that's just a very Zelda experience. They're always doing that with the dungeons. Like, here's a dungeon item. Now all those annoying enemies, yeah, they're like way easier.
Oh yeah.
It's true in this game too. If you're in like Forbidden Woods, it's like, hey, you know how annoying peahats are? And now you just like one-shot them with the boomerang, or two-shot them with the boomerang. And then if you face them again later with the bow and arrow, it's like, yeah, now you actually just one-shot them.
Death to all peahats.
They're kind of just a bunch of scrubs now. Did you say peahats are your least favorite enemy in this game?
Yeah, no. It's like between that and Magtails, I like today. I mean, I had a lot of struggle with Bomb Island earlier today, so I'm trying to debate if that takes the cake. I think as of now, it's still peahats, but Magtails is a close second.
Also, speaking of Bomb Island, can we talk about the power bracers that were behind bombs? That was kind of gross.
Oh yeah.
That is atypical for sure.
Usually one doesn't lock the other, but they were on the bomb mail, weren't they?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, so the power bracelets, which let you like pick up like heavy boulders and stuff, open up a lot of the same checks that bombs do. They both have some unique ones, but there are certain things where it's just like, yeah, get behind this boulder and you can do it both ways. So having one locked behind the other can make certain things just really awkward. Wow, an orange rupee, I'm rich.
Oh, I'm trying to think of where I want to go. Guess we do.
I know where I want to go.
I know where I want to go.
I want to go. I want to go to Hyrule and fight Ganon.
I would love to. Missing a couple items.
If only it were so simple. Don't worry, same.
I'd be really sad. Be like, oh yeah, and done.
Nope, not yet. Still plugging along.
Going back to Wind Waker dives, just getting under. This allows you to skip a couple things. Just makes it a little faster than things the intended way.
Oh, whoops. Meant to put bomb over my head. That's always a nice find.
That's not right. By not a nice find, I mean, I know how to play this game, I swear.
That's how I feel sometimes.
There's been a lot of that this seed, which is very unfortunate.
Oh god. Messed that up. It's okay, I'll do it again.
I think on average, maybe without the key lunacy, but like these settings take, what would you say, like about 2.5 on average?
2.5 hours, yeah. More like 2.5. Fast times on these are like early 2 hours.
This
Yeah,
seed,
like
on the other
2:05.
hand, is definitely not that. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of that can kind of come down to where you get certain items, what dungeons there are. Like one of the reasons that we say leaf and bombs are so good is that they open up a lot of stuff and they speed up a lot of things. So the earlier you can get those, the better, generally speaking. It just doesn't always work out that way. I don't know about you, but I did not have leaf for like a bazillion years.
Oh yeah, no. That was a later find for sure.
Although thinking about it, I actually don't think it's that deep in logic.
It isn't like having like the spheres accessible. Yeah, no. Some of these are like oh
Shot
god.
was on Beetle. Ghost Ship Chart was on Diamond Step, which is behind Hookshot.
The sphere 2s, yeah, the sphere 3 grapple, and then just behind grapple.
Yeah. Them's the breaks. I guess Sphere 4 is still kind of high. It's higher than 0, that's for sure.
Wasn't the direction I wanted to go, but I guess we're doing it. Yes, I mean, Sphere 4 is like kind of, I feel like. You definitely want to see.
Yeah, for sure. So that adds a lot, or that can add more time or not, just depending on that kind of thing. Oh, I should have left.
What a shot.
There we go. That's what we were trying to do.
Ellie, you gonna do this again? I am an expert at getting magtails between the wall and the button. Let me tell you.
Professional. Yeah, so you just have to imagine that it's in a slightly different spot, and then you're sorted. Oh, whoops! Miscounted on this guy. There we go. There's definitely like a skill to um figuring out how much you have to damage certain enemies.
Oh yeah.
And that's just gonna be something that comes as time as people play. I feel like in general, Wind Waker Rando is fairly straightforward to get into.
Yeah, but like it definitely
There's
it,
really
it
good
definitely seems
trackers.
daunting with all the tricks that we do. Um, but the amount of settings you can turn on or off makes it so you can have only like just dungeons or even less, like just depending on what all you start with. You can definitely tailor it to like ease yourself in different tricks.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't even need like to know that many or any tricks at all and still be able to do decent times. A lot of it just comes down to like movement.
Movement and routing.
So I would recommend.
Absolutely.
Although we're probably biased, aren't we?
A bit.
Probably.
I mean, I've done it. I've at least done another Zelda randomizer. You've done Hollow Knight, right?
It's always interesting to see the differences between the different games and like how it plays out.
Oh yeah, like playing Minish Cap randomizer in particular. Like it's they take about the same length of time to complete, but there's like
Uh,
3 times as many checks. Like Minish
yeah,
Cap, I
that's
think
great.
technically has like 1,000 checks or something like that. But
I think Wind Waker in general has like a lower number of item locations than other certain other randomizers.
oh yeah, things are
Hollow
definitely
Knight has a
more
lot
spread
more
out.
too. But yeah, everything in Wind Waker is just so far apart. That's what I
You
was
have
saying. The less sailing that you can do, the better off you'll be,
then you
or
have
the faster you'll.
there's a total of 300 checks in the randomizer, and the 6 of them are comprised of fishing up charts in the sea. So there is that aspect of it.
Yeah, there's like
50.
47 charts.
There's like 50. 49.
A lot. Let's just say.
A couple.
Just a few. Just a few.
You'll all be fine. I'll be fine.
Yes. Oops. Alright, back I go. Gotta do some more cleanup. You really start to feel like the different beats, you know what I mean? It's like the beginning is kind of like frantic freedom. You just go wherever and then you try to piece
Try to go
together
fast.
where it wants you to go, kind of, as you get in certain items. Like where it makes sense to go.
Yeah, then you have kind of like more calm middle. Then it gets towards the end where you're like, huh? Go, go, go.
Yeah. The middle is like you're probably doing like a dungeon or two and getting that stuff out of the way, and then yeah, the end is just kind of like, all right, time to go sweep up and get a lot of these oddities that have been pushing back for forever. But luckily I could use that pot right there, for example, to get back quickly.
Yeah, one of the better tweaks to the ramp. Just like being able to quickly get between dungeons.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where I have
I've definitely forgotten that it's just a rando thing.
yeah, like I was playing Wind Waker HD, like the vanilla game, the other day, and the spots where the dungeon warp pots are normally look so barren without them. It's kind of sad.
I know, like, I'm like, isn't there a warp pod?
Yeah, it like really looks like there's something that should be there. It's kind of funny. I always thought that was interesting. I think Forbidden Woods, unfortunately, we didn't see it this seed, so. But Forbidden Woods is like the prime example of that. It really looks like it belongs there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so that save warp that I just did is slightly faster than going all the way back. Hence why I did it.
I mean, you need to go fast?
I mean, you don't have to. Kind of trying to, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've been trying to go fast. I guess I can't speak for how successful it's been.
Ah, shoot. Stumbled at the last moment there. No. No, there. But okay. Well, that's something I like to see. It always sucks when you go back for something and it turns out it wasn't worth it, and it's always great when you go back for something and it was like, that was the best decision ever.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was looking for.
This was definitely good. That's convenient.
I could find something convenient. What do I want to do right now? I think I know how I want to do this. I feel like even more so than just practicing the physical mechanics of like doing strats, playing a lot of seeds really helps like the routing.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
just find yourself in more different random situations that, at least for me, I feel more like ready to handle stuff. I know I explained that so well, but
And like, especially like when I was first starting, like I used I use the like just seeds to like figure out where like what tricks I ought to learn.
Oh shoot. I was really hoping not to aggro that. Didn't want to have it be that way, but here we are. They chose their fate. Do you ever get that with like some enemy starts fronting on you, and I'm like, look, we could have coexisted peacefully, but you decided you wanted to get my biz.
I was gonna spare your life, but you decided you have chosen death.
I didn't want it to be this way. That's how I feel sometimes with some of these enemies. Like, look, I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
So much.
Oh, hey.
We're doing some really awful, like, just small thing.
Yikes. I always hate that.
Where did he go?
It's often the small mistakes that bother me more.
Oh,
Not always,
absolutely.
but it's like, come on, I should be.
Like, I shouldn't be having this
I
much
thought I
trouble.
was past this, you know. Speaking of, I should be able to do this. There we go. So I could just go ahead and do this.
You might think this is a problem since I don't have someone with me, but the devs just left this gap here. Very convenient.
I think I might know what gap.
I think we were talking about it. Like it's hard to describe like certain things.
There are certain things that are just, yeah. I mean, that one is particularly hilarious.
Oh yeah, no, that's just funny.
Not fixed in HD either. It still exists.
Oh really?
Yeah. You're talking about the Songstone in Wind Temple.
Oh wait, yeah, no, I do remember that now when I was doing my glitch run.
Yep. You just... That trick is as free as it looks as well. Anybody watching has any interest in this game, you should just try that trick because it feels awesome.
Yeah, like, you can just do that.
You just sidle, get far enough behind it so that when you let go of the wall, you stay behind the Songstone and boom.
And you just roll.
You boom, and just like that you have glitched.
No, you haven't glitched. Remember, it's not a glitch.
Oh, true, yeah, that's allowed in glitchless categories.
So therefore, it's
Of
not
this
a
game.
glitch.
Because it's not technically out of bounds, is the ruling.
I love it so much.
I think part of it is they just don't want to have to bother bringing the car down there.
Yeah, I definitely think that was part of the reason. Like, can we allow this so we don't have to do this?
Yeah, they stretched it just a little bit. Just be like, oh, I mean, what? Like, let's all be honest with ourselves. We want this to be real.
Who really wants to do this?
Actually, HD has a really cool HD specific skip that you can do.
With Makar out of jail.
Right. Oh yeah, you know it. Yeah. I guess you did. You've done some glitchless runs. I just saw that recently.
I've done one glitchless run. I did because I was gonna join like the giant glitchless race they were doing. But I just had a long day at work the night before, and so I just slept through it.
Sure.
But unfortunately,
It happens.
So I've just done the one. I do want to do more run of it, but you know that's like a 6-hour commitment.
Yeah, it's a long run. It's a long game.
And like I was taking time like during the run to learn the tricks.
Oh, sure.
So like I think my final time was something like 7:40 or something like that.
I did grapple skip at the very end of mine.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. I don't think I would have submitted the time anyways, because yeah, I was just like feeling out the route, and I think if I ever run it again, I could be more comfortable.
That's fair.
And I kind of want to at some point do another run, but yeah, it was pretty it was pretty bad. Did an out of bounds clip at the very last, very end of it, just because it was just so habitual.
Ingrained in muscle memory.
Yeah.
That is pretty bad.
It happens.
Yeah, no, I almost did Jack's clip in Tower of the Gods. Like Jay was in my chat, just like as I'm like going into the room, he's like, "Don't do Jack's clip, don't do Jack's clip." I'm like, "Oh, thank you. I totally would have done Jack's clip."
Yeah, I had a note in my splits to not. It was like Tower of the God split, and in parentheses it said "Don't cheat."
Don't cheat.
Because I knew I would probably do that skip. It's like whoopsies.
Oopsie doopsie.
Pretty much.
Actually get this. Struggling so much. And we're still gonna struggle. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so normally you can't do this until you have certain items.
Are we in the same spot?
Maybe.
Are you talking about needing fire arrows?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so we're not in the same.
But now I know where you are.
Oh no.
And with that information, I shall do nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you say take the lead, you probably already have it just because of all of the terrible things that have been happening. Alright, we need to get back to the grinding board strict, that's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely did some wind temple shenanigans earlier. I think one of the only things that netted me. I mean, it netted me some stuff, but it also netted me a bait bag.
Yeah,
But now that
the bait bag was like the only thing that I managed to get.
it's like one of the only things of note besides some shards. I mean, shards are obviously important, but they don't help you clear things faster.
Yeah, my problem was I did Wind Temple, like I did the early dip into Wind Temple before dipping into DRC. So,
Oh,
like,
interesting.
yeah, so I was very sad boy hours.
Wait, you dipped Wind Temple with the one check, or did you have Leaf at that point?
No, I didn't even have Leaf.
You dipped Leaf with Wind Temple for one check? That is bold.
No, I mean, I went further into it.
No, but I mean logically one check.
Oh yeah, logically one check, yeah.
Yeah, I did DRC. And then I did like the first 3 checks of DRC, which ended up being pretty okay.
Oh, come on.
I got them bombs fairly early.
Yeah, no, when I then went to DRC afterwards, I was very much sad. Oh, no.
I think the worst thing, like I said, is that leaf location wasn't even like that bad, but it took me forever to find it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I went out of logic. So sometimes this happens, I feel like, right? Where you go out of logic and you end up screwing yourself worse than just following it. Because I think I would have, you know, had figured out where it was earlier.
Yeah, no, because I did the flight control platform with the hook shot, so no bow.
No way.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
I know. So that's why I did wind tempo though, because I got the skull hammer. I suddenly had that open.
Ah, I
like,
understand.
This is like this. I gotta make a play here, and then I got bait bag for it.
And some shards.
No, I think I got the one. I got like the one behind the stone head, I think. But like I couldn't get like the left alcove area or anything.
This is not going amazingly. There we go. Yeah, there's a cheeky little hook shot that you can do onto one of the heads on the wall that gets you on top. And then you can side hop mid-air slash to land up by the blue warp. And I've done that strat like forever.
That's just a thing you can do apparently. Like there's just so many, like, you don't need to do it the intended way.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what happens with these older games, right? This game is 2003, I think.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Something like that, so... It's old enough and popular enough that people have just taken it apart in so many different ways.
Okay, we have to grab that. We have to grab that. It's not actually needed for anything, but I'd get murdered for not grabbing that. Another.
The Dekubaba seed.
Yeah.
I'd get murdered, he said.
I mean, am I wrong?
No. No, you're not.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that mashing. I don't like the sound of that mashing.
No, don't worry about it.
Too bad I can't use it. So how was Puppet Ganon?
It went okay. Oh, whoops. That was awkward. I thought about muting my mic. I actually muted it on the recording because it's loud.
I'm like, I know that mashing. That's the rope climb mashing. Oh boy.
Yeah, so we're able to do like a cheeky little. You hold R and you mash A and B with like a certain rhythm. Helps you climb the rope just a bit faster.
All right, so I am missing 2 bows and a sword still. Like I said, we were having issues.
2 bows and a sword. I feel like I know what all 3 of those are. Well, maybe not. Well, no. Shoot.
I don't remember what the bow I had was. Oh, it was ankle. Ankle was my first bow.
Okay, that was a bow I thought you had. That would have been that was one of the ones I thought you might be missing.
Oh no.
So now I'm not. Now I'm trying to think. That was my fire ice. So I'm trying to think of what bow did I get first?
Yeah, like I said, my routing was awful.
Okay, I am Denzel Washington. Dunzel. I don't know. Don't think about it too
GG's.
much. Thank you.
Guess under that 2.5.
Yeah, that was it. It's true. Yeah, there you go. 2.5, like we were saying. I mean, that was a weirder seed than usual, though.
Oh yeah, no. And like I had some poor execution things. The weird void I had was in Cliff Plateau.
Oh shoot! Yeah, that's annoying.
Like, cause I didn't have a sword when I went there. And I think I just had hook shot as a weapon. So like, I went to try and like side hop up to the right side to like go up that way. Oh, there's our last sword.
Where was your last sword?
Earth Temple.
Is it okay? That's. I think that's. I figured that was one you were maybe missing. I think.
But yeah, like I like went to go up the right side in Cliff Plateau just because I didn't have a sword. I didn't want to void in the spot in like going up the left side.
And
I'm like, I haven't voided doing the right side. I'll be fine. And then I like got crushed on seemingly nothing.
No.
And I'm like,
shit.
excuse me.
I think
So
I
I'm actually still haven't been back to Cliff Plateau yet. Just haven't made it there yet.
That's how it goes, right?
So yeah, Cliff Plateau and Bird's Peak I haven't been back to. I went to do it after, like I did the checks in Forbidden Woods, and I meant to go do. Oh, there. Okay, wow. Formaster being stacked.
I know, right?
What the heck?
That's where when you said you're missing both, I was like, oh, they'll find it soon enough. Obviously, I couldn't give up the
Oh yeah, no.
goose that quickly, but yeah, that was my go mode room.
Yeah, really. So I take it you did that one. You did Earth Temple before Wind Temple.
I finished on Earth Temple actually.
Oh, okay.
I dipped Earth Temple at the beginning, and then I left actually.
Yeah, so like when you were doing like that Death Warp, I thought you were doing the Death Warp in the Wind Temple mid-bot or a Big Heat chest.
Ah, no, I was doing the Death Warp in
The
behind Destructible Wall. I didn't have the mirror shield.
Yeah, you stored the mirror shield.
Oh, was that the mirror? Was that where I got mirror shield?
Transparent chest was like in first crypt was mirror shield.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh my god.
Yeah, because I did the death warp too, and then like when I loaded back in, I saw I had the mirror shield. I'm like, oh.
That's unfortunate. I did not realize for a very long time that I had the mirror shield. I
Oh
think I
no.
saw I had mirror shield when I was on the ghost ship.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. I'm just happy I noticed. I was like, oh snap, look what I have.
Something tells me nothing else is in Earth Temple, but I'm not gonna get that information. Continue going like I was planning on doing.
It could have been a bait, you never know.
You could have done the basement before you did the Floor Master room.
It's true. Yeah, I agreed a redead in the first like elephant statue room. And that was a redead that decided it wanted to die.
Oh. I see.
That's, you know, going back to that convo.
I'm trying to... You know, I just had a lot of like routing. Like I dipped like when I had hookshot. I had went to the Six-Eyed Reef sub and just cried. So I wasn't able to get the moblin to drop its spear for like 3 reloads of the whole scene.
I may or may not have had trouble in that submarine. I
So
went there like really early, I don't know what.
Yeah, I eventually just gave up. I'm like, alright, we'll just come back when we have a sword. And then I realized that, like, I eventually did Island of Steel without bomb. So that
Oh, gotcha.
when I was like, I'm back with a vengeance. That was back at Six-Eyed Reef for the sword.
Let's go. What it had something, right? Was that wait, was it a sword? It was a sword, right?
I think
On Six-Eyed?
Six-Eyed I think was Dragon Roost Caverns.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I think that was the first one.
It was something useful. That sounds correct because I think I took that then, and that's why I dipped DRC so quickly. That was like a big part of the deciding factor for me.
Yeah, so I had that one key. Hey, look, there's the last one.
Nice. Yeah, God, Q, honestly, I thought glitches makes DRC just disgusting. Truly.
Now I'm trying to remember what my routing was. Like, failing that cliff plateau definitely screwed me over a bit.
That hurts for sure.
Because, like, I mean, I haven't gone to, like, Bird's Peak Rock yet.
Yeah, the worst part about it too is it just like sits over you forever. Like you pray that it's nothing, but until you know, it's just like, "Ooh, what if? What if? What if?" At least it's out. That's how it ends up happening for me.
Yeah, no, like, trying to find. Why? My bad.
I swear, jump hits on the heads never work.
Uh,
Wait, you have the Tingle Tuner?
yeah, I found the Tingle Tuner.
What?
It was in the Earth Temple mini boss.
Gotcha. I was like, I didn't find a Tingle Tuner.
I mean,
That's another.
I haven't found the Hero's Charm yet either.
Really, you haven't?
Yeah, I don't have delivery bag either.
I wasn't sure if like the beanie was like the hero charm for this guy.
No, it's actually it's like a pair of goggles almost.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, no, I was finally able to like get the Hero's Charm in like a seed earlier today. And, whoa, they're goggles? That's amazing!
That's pretty cool.
Roll clips. My old nemesis. Yeah, no, I think I spent like 3 minutes doing the Jaboon roll clip.
Ah, is the Jaboon one? Okay. I know you were saying something about a roll clip.
Yeah, it was the Jaboon.
I was pretty happy I got it fairly quickly. That roll clip is the worst in the game. For me, at least. I struggle with it so much.
That's the thing. I was like, the seeds I was playing earlier today, not a problem at all. Like
Go figure.
first or second try. Now all the roll clips are like first or second minute. Hey, snacks.
Yeah, this roll clip is awful.
There we go. And I almost didn't pull the leaf out. That would have been really sad. No. I don't think I grabbed the chest. The right chest. The one that spawns here randomly.
No, you went back for it.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, you did.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, you did. I usually like to grab that one first.
Yeah, that's what I normally grab first, like just for that reason. I just did it.
The autopilot strikes again. Or something like that.
Something like that. Alright, yeah, so this it was bad times.
Earth Temple, yeah.
I mean, if we can finish under 3, I'll be happy.
I mean, how much do you have left? You can't have that much left, can you?
I mean, I basically need... Oh, but so that was the other thing. So when I dipped Wind Temple earlier, I went to do the left alcove, and then like I was gonna use Bakar to like get storage off the chest to get the mini boss one. The only dungeon item I have is that. And I realized that because I didn't have leaf, I had no way to like lower the floor so Link could get across. I'm like, huh.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'm trying to do the basement clip, and again, I don't have leaf, so I managed to clip into the basement. I think I jump slashed to like where the trees are. How I ended up doing it. And then I grabbed the spike root.
Yeah, because you said you got bait bag, so.
And then I tried doing the boss. that
Yeah, I don't
was
remember where they were exactly, but I found both of the Wind Temple small keys pretty quickly, it felt like.
I think the one was Orion, because I didn't go there until after I dipped. I didn't do any of
Gotcha.
the DRI checks until afterwards.
I want to say one of them was on Windfall.
I think that was the one that I had.
Gotcha. I'm trying to think. I feel like Dragon Risk Cavern had bombs.
It had bombs. And
I don't know if it had anything else. Did it?
I think there was a key. There's some sort of key.
It's just interesting because normally, so often, if it's Dragon Risk Cavern, Wind Temple, Earth Temple, right? It's usually, I feel like it's usually the since Earth Temple and Wind Temple are like quote unquote the later dungeons, they usually are a bit more empty. And Dragon Risk Cavern's got all this stuff.
Yeah,
I got the opposite this time around. There were 3 or 4 shards in there, I think, in the end. Something like that.
Oh, we're gonna get a 4 cycle. No! Oh, it's been struggle hours, that's for sure.
That's Wind Waker, baby.
And doing this without light arrows sucks.
Yeah, luckily the Earth Temple bow was my light arrows. It's been a bit, actually. I think the last few times I fought Jalhala, I didn't get to use the light arrows on them. Which I suppose I didn't really mention, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, for whatever reason, even though you don't normally have light arrows before you get to this boss, light arrows work on this boss.
For whatever reason, yeah.
It's like unsure if it's an Easter egg, if it was like an old intended mechanic that was just sort of left in. It makes sense logically, but yeah, there's just a special interaction between Jalhala and light arrows
I guess
that most casual players will never get to see.
Yeah. I guess technically the light arrows work on Dragon Risk Cavern boss Goma as well, just not in a helpful way.
No, that's more of a glitchy way. Yeah, here's the thought. Can you refight the Trials bosses in this game? I actually don't know.
Like after you fought them?
Mm-hmm.
I've never tried.
Could you fight Trials Jalhala and then go back with light arrows and fight Trials Jalhala again with light arrows and then use light arrows on Jalhala?
That'd be interesting.
Is that the secret sauce? I'm not sure.
Let's see. Yeah, so after the 4 saving checks, I was gonna do like Cliff Plateau to Birch Peak to Bomb Island, and then I ended up just going to Bomb Island, and I just completely forgot.
Oh,
I
sure.
turned and like didn't, and I just kept turning to north. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess we're doing Bomb Island, and then I just
there, yeah.
And then I never went back to like Birch Peak and Cliff Plateau. Thanks, controller. Yeah, key sanity. It's fun, but it gets some wild seeds, that's for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, I think because since we were just talking about like storage and stuff, Cliff Plateau, maybe just because it was a very common thing to see in like season 3 settings, but this is often a great place for people to start learning like storage strats. Just because the bottom chest is basically sphere 0. You just need some sort of way to kill the Dekubaba.
Yeah.
But the upper one depends on the Deku Leaf, and so that could really, who knows when. So being able to mix both of those together can be a great benefit.
We have ground here.
So it's either this or Helmrock, right? Those are the big, I think, like 2 big locations people are in storage first. I know I did at least.
Yeah, I think technically Cabana was my first storage spot.
Cabana makes sense too, for sure.
Because like when my first experience with the randomizer was I just turned on all settings minus Q. I think I kept the Q in their dungeon.
Sure.
But like because I got introduced to it by gymnasts during their GDQ run. I think one of them did Cabana skip. Like so I knew that was a thing.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
No Cabana dude. So like I ended up at Cabana. I'm like, okay, we're gonna try and learn. And I basically just I can't actually remember if I did that before or after Helmrock. Think about it. But only one.
I think Helmar King was where I did first learn storage because a friend of mine was watching me play through the game casually. And they're like, hey, there's this cool strat that you should do. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. So and I had so much trouble with that because like so when you're doing storage, all you do have to do is pull out the wind wing. Actually, but like I knew the model character models. Oh, there's the hero's charm.
Yay. I didn't want to spoil it. I was like kind of hoping you'd mail note to mom.
Now we got goggles.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. They're cute.
Nice first try. Finally, some good news. But like I knew that like for the dive to happen, like they were obviously facing the camera, and since you always like climbed up ledges facing away from the camera, I thought you had to manually turn yourself around.
Oh, that makes
so like
sense.
I was wildly inconsistent at getting storage. Oh, there they are.
They are.
At least we got hero's charm.
True.
So we could potentially still get sub 3. It's gonna be close. We could.
Let's see it. Banger high roll. It can happen.
Yeah, after everything else has been going on in this.
He was just storing up for the high roll, obviously.
Gearing up for that.
Yeah. Yeah, as I was thinking about it more, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I know where my first bow was. Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, that would have been my first bow had I like not failed.
Yeah.
Man, that cliff plateau, that really screwed me.
It hurts. Yeah, it hurts.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, unlucky the one time, right?
I know, it was like, of course. I always have so cool with these stairs.
Oh, yeah, because they extend like into the water where you can't see them.
I take a Cabana was somewhere on like fire ice checks.
I think it was ice ring somewhere. I think it was inner ice ring. No, it was because then I was like, oh, cool. I'm like right there. Because I went back. Yeah. I save scummed the tingle statue chest on the waterfall to potentially go back for. but I was looking for leaf and grapple pretty desperately
Yeah.
at that point, so I went back and I grabbed it.
And then you got fire ice arrows from ankle.
I sure did. Yeah. Oh, and then I got grapple and leaf not too long after, which is the worst part.
Yeah, I did. I like before I got grapple worship after dipping Wind Temple. Um, I did Wind Temple. I dipped into DRC, got bombs, got the power bracelets. I think I did the pig, and then I went up to do ghost ship. I did there.
Okay, you know what's the worst thing? Not the worst thing. So I did a leafless horseshoe, and I had bombs and I had hook shot, but I didn't have sword again,
Oh
which
gosh.
was that situation that we were talking about with Diamond Step. And I decided, no, no, no. I will go back when I have sword. So I probably could have gotten the ghost ship chart a bit earlier.
Oh, I take it. It like
All because
obviously
I
didn't
didn't
have
want.
anything useful.
Huh?
Obviously didn't have anything because I didn't even go to Torchu.
Oh yeah, I guess not. I don't remember what was there. A chart or some money, I'm sure. But I did in fact get to do the bomb push strat, which made me happy.
Yeah, I need to learn leafless horseshoe. That's one of those tricks I just haven't.
I know there are some people kind of like waiting to figure out like what season 4 is gonna turn into.
B and C seem to be the most popular ones. At least those are the ones that are always seem to be running like on.
Yeah, I think those are both aren't those both the sub ones?
Yeah, it's just either 3 or 4.
Yeah. I like the submarines. I think they're cool.
Yeah, it definitely makes for some interesting routing choices. I think it scenes like this where it was just like awful at the start.
Yeah, it just depends on what you get at the beginning. I like Rando for that though. This is a fun one, and that it's more memorable.
Yeah, no, I like Key Lunacy because it allows you to show off more what like rando.
Actually, trying to think. I think the only key skips I did were, and no, I had big key skipped in Wind Temple.
Oh yeah, Big Key was top of
It was
was
upstairs. Yeah,
there.
I found it
Yeah.
later. I was like, whoops. I didn't have leaf. Actually, that was the first time I got to Mulgara and did Mulgara without leaf. I've never actually done it before in a seed. Where you clip to the basement and then you can bring the car down on that little elevator. And then you use him to plant the tree.
Yeah, no, I've
Nice
never.
Speedrun 1.
Yeah, no, that was a lot better than I thought
That
it
was
would go.
clean.
I'll be
A
honest.
lot better than mine. I'll tell you that.
The sub 3 is really cutting it close though. I don't think we'll make the sub 3 though. PG3 would
Yeah.
have to be like godlike.
Hey, it'll be close and that's fine. We both went for it, but because like neither one of us got to show off Crypt Shot.
That's
I
okay.
couldn't hit it.
I'll just show off Trog Shot instead.
Yo, let's go. I want to see it. I did not go for Trog Shot.
Oh, I didn't get the feel on that. They went behind me. That would have been glorious.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna just miss out on the sub 3 just because it's gonna take a minute to climb up the tower.
Oh, well. It happens.
Swap the hook shot. I mean, I still think.
Yeah,
a
our
th-
first. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I still think a 3-hour estimate is about right for the like at the upper limit.
Oh, yeah. I think for sure.
I just
I
had
mean, I think this
apparently
was
had a
like this.
very bad
This was,
day.
this was already more of a very edge case kind of race, anyway. So
Oh yeah.
Earth and Wind Temple, which are like the two longest dungeons. I believe that was kind of poorly placed. So, but yeah, I was just gonna say, I remember when I first started playing Rando, I thought I would never do that rope climb.
Oh, I know. It seems so much more difficult than it actually is.
Yeah, you really don't have to mash as fast as you think you do. At least in my mind, I thought you had to mash like really fast.
Also, just bad at quick spins.
I feel like that's something I finally starting to get more consistent at long last. Of course, against Ganon, well,
I mean, sometimes they come off flawlessly. Other times it's like, do you know what you're doing?
I feel that.
Please.
And I guess we can say, for sake of explanation, if you talk to Zelda, she'll shoot her like the next arrow a lot faster, which is why you
Yeah.
see us talking to her. GG.
Yay! I like the 3-0-1-1-3. I like all the ones and threes there.
Very satisfying. Just ignore the .18. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, that so a little rough around the edges. But that was definitely an interesting scene to this. So we could definitely get like a spoiler log gen so that, like we don't get something like that for marathon if that ends up happening.
Yeah, there's definitely
as much fun as they
yeah.
are, just in terms of a marathon safety, I don't think that would be for it.
Yeah, we can always double check or make sure there's like nothing in high roll ahead of time.
Yeah, I think that's the bigger one. But like I'd even leaf on Baito mail, something like that would probably be good to like not have to deal with.
Yeah, there's options to.
We can get we can get a pen for have somebody check
Yeah.
that.
So.
Yeah, hope it's considered at least. I mean, I had fun
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I enjoy playing it still.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.